it's Francesca and Suzanne from Under the Covers, and today we have a special guest. Estelle from Forever Romance is here today.
Hi.
And we are talking about how bloggers can work with publishers, so we wanted to give you guys some tips. It's something that we get asked a lot, how we get advanced review copies, how to work with publishers, so we thought we would just get the information straight from the source and share it with you guys. Yes. So how do you think bloggers can work with publishers more?
Oh man. Well, it all starts with an email. I think sending an email, being as professional as possible. Like, this is my workplace. In order to work together, it helps if you're writing an email with all of your information. Tell me a little bit like why you want to read the book. I always love little personal stories. I think that's really nice. Including links to all of your social media platforms and also your website. And also including your address in there. I mean, this was a really good point that came up like last week at a panel where it's easier when all of your information is there, because unfortunately our teams are tiny. We have a very limited amount of time. Like here I only work with one other person. So to have all of the information there and being able to just ship off the book maybe without emailing you back, which I hate to do, but sometimes we just have too many emails coming in. So it's nice to have everything in there. It also helps, you know, even if you don't have the stats at the time and I'm not able to send the book, I do like to see that you're like actively talking with us on social and engaging with us, even if we're like, it doesn't matter what it's about, but just getting excited about our books, because that helps me remember you. I'm sure you see that all of the Bookstagram names are books and coffee and cats and meows. So it's sometimes hard for me to keep them all in order, as I'm sure it is for everybody. So kind of creating like a real genuine connection with us and our accounts is really great. And I was a blogger once before. I can tell when it's not genuine, okay?
So do you have a set amount of followers or numbers at somebody? Do you have like a threshold, or is it just...
Oh, that's so tough.
Yeah.
Because I think I was a blogger at once, and you know, we all start in the baby stage. I really do like to work with newer bloggers. But something we were talking about earlier, showing that you love books is a big thing, right? So if you're a newer blogger, don't be shy about reaching out, because it doesn't necessarily mean it's automatically going to be a no, but knowing that you're genuinely sharing your love for books could be something that really makes me want to send you a book, especially if, you know, it's a book you absolutely haven't read before and I've read the whole book, but you post something personal maybe about a book that relates to the book. Like, you just never know. I mean, so I'd say like being very genuine in your posts is really important to me as a newer person. When it comes to numbers, I really look at engagement. I look at follower count, like on things like, I feel like I'm always talking about Instagram because that's just where it's at right now.
Sure.
But I do think that seeing that you're commenting with other people, you're going to other accounts, you're coming to ours, you're posting really thoughtful captions, maybe not all the time, they're fun, but I mean, you put work into it. And you do have other posts that are about books, because I do get some requests sometimes and I'm confused because there's really nothing about books on the account. So that is number one tip. Make sure you're posting about books. And also, like, if you're saying you're blogging, make sure you have like at least one blog a week, something from that month. I've been getting a lot of requests that are, no one's updated the blog in a year.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of leads me to my NetGalley rant, which I could talk about for a really long time. But we have very limited amount of physical galleys to send out, so we really do depend on NetGalley a lot. And I think making sure your profile is updated, at least for this year. This is something I was just ranting about yesterday. It's just easy to press update, and then it says that it's updated for 2019, which to me already signals that you're still writing something.
Right.
Even if you're maybe not writing on the blog anymore, but only doing Instagram or only updating on Goodreads, all of those things are really important. Telling me what other authors you like, putting all of the stats in there. Again, like throwing all of the information in there. You are able to add your address to NetGalley, but I rarely see that, honestly. But again, it's just like if you were sending me an email. And everything in one place is so helpful because, again, we are a small team. Our time is valuable and so is yours, right? And we want to be able to give you an answer as soon as possible. So it's really big. NetGalley is huge for us. I mean, I love it, and it's a way that I continue to go back. Like, if we have a new author, I'll go back to old titles and I'll look through those lists. So, I mean, it's important that you're also sharing your reviews on there, and your feedback number is pretty high. Although, again, because I have a soft spot for baby bloggers, I do, like, it just because you have 0 or it's your first request, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna say no. But I do, like, I think 80% and higher for the feedback rate is really important. And I know NetGalley is, like, always reminding people to leave reviews now and everything. So
I feel like that 80% is pretty standard with NetGalley. Another thing that I think comes up a lot is the fact, like you were saying, you heavily rely on NetGalley. I feel like a lot of bloggers want the physical arcs, and I mean, for us, we don't really care whether it's a physical arc. I actually prefer reading an ebook, so
Same here.
that works perfect for me.
Right,
but I know that a lot of people wonder why I get approved on NetGalley and not get a physical arc. So is there a way that you determine that, or how can they, if that's what they read, maybe they don't read ebooks, how can they get on that list? Like, just send you an email and say, I don't read ebooks? Or...
I mean, those emails are really tough for me to get sometimes. And it really, tone is important, because sometimes I'll get an email and they just are very against ebooks. And to me, that shows that you have kind of very little knowledge of how our industry works. One thing that we do here is, even though we do have a limited number of physical galleys, I do like finished book copies, and you get those almost a month out because they do land in our warehouse pretty early. We're able to send them out to you, so it still gives you a month to read. And I think in romance that's a nice amount of time because you're reading pretty quick. So just because there isn't the physical galley and you're getting an ebook doesn't mean that you're not going to get an early copy, even if it's not a galley. Most of the time it's a finished book. And I've honestly been working more on those lists than sending out the galleys. I mean, I've been here for like a year and a half, and I think I've really changed how I'm sending stuff out, because I do have to do the things that make the most
what's working
I mean, and for me, it's
at the end of the day, it's a business.
Exactly. And people want to take a picture of a finished book anyway. Like, The Friend Zone is a perfect example. That book, the cover changed. It's it's been hard. It's hard, and a lot of things changed with that book. It's like, we had very limited galleys, then we changed the date, then we all of a sudden have a few more galleys than I thought that we would have, and then so just because you asked the first time doesn't necessarily mean you're not in consideration for it. I do keep a lot of lists going on. I try to keep track, but really NetGalley is just, I think you should be a little bit open to it. It doesn't mean you're not going to get the early copy that you can take a beautiful picture of, or
So another thing that I think it's important to point out is most publishers will have some sort of a newsletter that you can sign up for, and as a blogger you're going to get once a month the list of everything they have coming out, and there's going to be something you can fill out and request. So if you're not comfortable, I know some people are just not comfortable sending that personal email and saying, I want this book. So maybe that's something that you can look into. Where would they go if they were to look for that newsletter?
So I don't actually actively post this link anywhere. I've started to on Instagram story, maybe a week before the newsletter goes out. I do, that was scary. I do post the link, and then you can sign up that way. You don't have to have a specific number of followers just to sign up. I think, I mean, so that's the way that you can get the early finished copies of the books. And also I do something where you can sign up for first dibs on NetGalley widgets. Because when NetGalley goes up, sometimes it's, I don't know why I'm doing all these hand gestures. Sometimes it's okay, sorry.
I do it all the time.
Sometimes, so it's private and no one else can see it. So I kind of like to give the people most excited first view of that before anyone's able to request it. So there's also opportunities for that. I love working with bloggers, and I love working with all of the bookstagrammers, and I try to make it fun, but also, we really value all of the work that you do, and your enthusiasm. So I try to think of different ways to really show you that, even if it's not like traditional. So yeah, signing up for the newsletter, which I'll share. I'll give you guys the link.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can post it in the information.
Right. I forget what we're doing. So I'll give you that. But I do, and even if you email me, it's in my signature, so you can just sign up. And I do, like, if you email me and I don't have enough copies of something, I always reply back and say, please sign up for our newsletter, because you never know when we'll get more copies of things.
And are you guys comfortable with somebody contacting you like through DMs on Instagram?
Oh,
or
yeah,
something like that?
That's
Because
totally
I feel
fine.
like sometimes people are more comfortable with that than, oh, where do I find
Right.
it?
Then
But definitely
format
on
to
the company account, and maybe not on my personal one. I love connecting with everyone, but that does happen quite a bit, and I
Yeah.
prefer to leave that on the forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
account.
Keeping things
separate.
professional.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So I think something that bloggers should consider is, what does your website, especially if you're a blogger as opposed to an Instagrammer, is what does your website look like? What kind of content you're posting? So I think that's always very important when you're dealing with a publisher, just because they are looking at that. They are looking at you as a way to market their books. So the content is important, the look is important. A search function, I
my
feel,
gosh.
is very important.
Yes, please.
And
Yes,
a link
please.
to your social media
All
accounts.
the links to your social
They need to be
media,
on there.
they need to be also easy to find.
Yeah.
Same thing with the search. I mean, if you have it and you have to go digging for it,
Yeah.
that's probably not a good
People
idea.
want
right?
ease. You need to be
Yes.
easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, because
Yeah.
like what you're saying, you guys are busy. So if you need to go searching for something, most likely you're just gonna close that off.
Yeah,
and
it's
move
true.
on to the
Next
next one,
one.
and that's
Yeah.
just reality.
Yeah, I've made many rants on Twitter about not having a search function.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Also, one thing that's been driving me crazy is when I can't see the date of the post.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That's been a new thing, and
I haven't noticed that anyway.
yeah, and it feels tricky.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something
Post
you can hide.
consistently.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yes.
And if you're requesting romance, make sure that your blog has romance on it.
Yeah,
That you're not
yeah.
just,
Yeah.
I don't know, young adult or, I don't know, women's fiction or literary fiction
I mean,
or
I
something.
think that
like,
that means if you want to branch
Yeah.
out into other genres, doesn't mean that you can't.
Right.
But make sure you are genuinely posting something in that genre as well.
you might have
So
to buy some books
You may have
first.
to, or go to the
Yeah.
library and start reviewing
Yeah.
some of that
Yeah.
genre before you go and request it.
Yeah,
Your chance will be higher, I
Yeah.
think.
yeah.
I think
Getting it?
also, as a YA reader, I think there is romance in it. So
Oh, yeah,
even
yeah.
if you are like reaching out for the first time, saying like, "Oh, I loved Serious Moonlight
Yeah.
because of this romance, and I really wanted to like dip my toe in," and you
Yeah.
know
That could be
yeah, and
more.
I've been talking to a lot of bloggers who want to try some new things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm always happy to do that and send some recommendations and like start a conversation that way. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so another point is that you need to follow through with what you've said you're going to do. So that's really important. And then once you've done it, you need to let people know that you have. So send an email or a message with the links of what you've posted, where on social media, so that they can see that you've done it, and it saves you time for having to search for it themselves, which, as you can see, is really important, because you've spoken a lot about how you don't necessarily have all the resources to go through. So you know, a blogger that's saved you time is perhaps one that you're more likely to remember and send stuff through again, because it's easier for you guys.
totally true.
On the flip side, if you've had something from the publisher that you haven't liked, don't tag them in the review, in the bad review. So it's 4 and 5 star reviews. You need to tag them. Anything below that, we don't recommend that you tag them in.
Or
You
the
don't, or
author.
the author, yeah. Don't tag the
Yes.
author in either. You should let the publisher know privately that you've read it. You didn't. It's, you know, I'm giving it 2 stars. It wasn't my favourite book, so therefore I won't be posting this on release day. And also, it's best probably not to post it on release day as
Yeah.
well.
I feel like for us, a lot of the negative reviews we tend to maybe post a week after release, so that
Yeah.
there's a little bit of time, and it's not
Yeah. drowning
drowning out that
yeah.
release
Right.
Yeah,
boost.
because it's not that if we don't like a book that we don't want it to sell. It's just that it wasn't to our taste.
Yeah.
So let them know. And so negative reviews. So how do you feel about those?
I
How does
think
that
it is
affect
totally
you?
okay not to like a book.
Yeah.
And I think that you should not be scared to tell us that you don't like a book. It only means we can recommend you better books. and also just get a better taste of your taste. A better sense of your taste is what I should say.
Yeah.
I think we can tell if the blog, like if someone writes a review and they really tried to hype it up, even though they maybe didn't feel as positive about it as they're saying. And I think, you know, what really works the best with bloggers and makes them so effective and as like a tastemaker and like spreading the news is like when it's a genuine connection, right? So I think no one is mad if you're not going to like a book. That's just the way that it goes. We're all different people, right? So I just don't think you should be afraid to say anything, and to be honest is better than putting up a review that you feel icky about it, because it is your brand, right? You want people to trust you, and I think it's really important just to be honest.
Yeah, we agree. So I think another key point about blogging and like your image with publishers, with authors, with all the other bookstagrammers is, so you've spoken about being genuine, and I think that is so key. When you go into being a bookstagrammer or a book blogger, you need to realise that you need to do it because you love it, because that passion will come across. You can't go into it thinking that you're going to get loads of free stuff, because believe me, the amount of stuff you get is not worth the hours of your life that you're going to be putting into it. It needs to be a passion that you enjoy, like talking about books and spreading the love for books, rather than enjoying receiving the books. Which, don't get me wrong, it is really nice when you do get them, but you have to be prepared that that might not be the case. But you need to have the attitude that I would do this whether or not I would be getting the free books, because I love books, I love romance, I love exploring the different genres, and I want to talk about it, and I want to meet people who enjoy the same thing and have those conversations. So that's really important for not only like working with publishers, working with authors, but for your own mental health. You need to go into it with the attitude of, I really love books, I really want to share it, and that is when I feel like you're going to be most successful, because I think that comes across, because we've been doing it for 8 years, and we would still do it if we didn't get any books, because we love books so much, and we constantly talk about it. So yeah, that is my piece, guys. Anything else you feel like people should really know?
I think we covered everything. Don't email 3 people on a team.
Don't stalk the publicist or the author. Don't email and like call the publicist.
No, I mean,
don't
really,
freak them out.
We sit right next to each other. If we get an email for a book that they're working on, we can just pass it along, and we do. So one email is definitely enough, and sometimes it does take us more than a day to get back. You know?
I mean, they're normal people. They have an 8-hour workday, I think, right?
You know,
roughly.
Sure. I actually sleep in this room. I'm just kidding. Not true.
So, you know, take them as humans. And, you know, they need time, like everybody else. I mean, even our email sometimes, it will probably take a week or 2 before we respond to email. So, I mean, take that into consideration. But so I think that we've covered some stuff, especially if you're starting out, it's probably good information. But I think for any blogger, you know, just try to use common sense whenever you're handling yourself with publishers, with authors, with getting review copies. If you have any questions that we haven't covered here, just leave them in the comments and we'll come back and answer them. But I think we pretty much covered all the basics, and hopefully this was helpful to you guys.
And it is our 8-year Blogiversary, so we do have some gift packs for you guys. So we have 4 mystery packs of books, and I believe there's like 6+ books in them. I think. Yeah, it's like 6 to 8 books, I can't quite remember. And even better, guys, we have 4 under the covers mugs that we are giving away.
That's so cute.
They are our last 4 mugs, so they are original, and you will only find them here. So
collector's
please,
item.
They are collector's item.
Yes.
So don't forget to enter the giveaway. How to enter the giveaway will be in the show notes, and we are not a podcast, so they're not show notes. In the information below.
So thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.